Hi, I think I'm live. Okay, let me just expand my video. Okay, I am not very good with Facebook, so hang with me for a moment. Okay, are you guys able to see me? And I don't know where to find the comments. Okay, um, okay, so today we are going to talk about how I reached my income goal within 3 months of starting this account, and that and how then I doubled it within just 2 months. Like 1 month after that, I just doubled that income, and how I was able to do all of that within such a short span of time, and with just 500 followers, and how I don't leave money on the table, how I have so many repeat customers. I'm going to share all of that today. Okay, let me just make sure that I'm live. Okay. Okay, so let's start. I reached my income goal within 3 months of starting my new Instagram account, and that goal was already 66% higher than my high paying 9 to 5 MNC job. That was a huge deal already, right? But I then doubled it within just 2 months. So leave 1 month after that, and then the next month I just doubled that amount, which is a huge thing. And then I kept it consistent. And right now I'm on the level of upscaling it, but that is a story for another live, okay, or another masterclass. So how could I reach this so quickly with just a 500 following account? This is because the first thing that I would say, like very transparently, is that this is because I wasn't new to this. A lot of you might already know that I had a previous account which I shut off because I had to take a long break from it, and it was kind of getting cold, and I knew how to make it hotter, how to warm up your audience. I know that, but I wanted to shut it off because I wanted new energy in me and new energy for everyone who is joining, right? So what I did was I just took every single person who was really listening to everything that I was putting on that account, and I told them that I'm creating a new account. If you want to listen more about what I'm doing and learn more from me, then you can join my new account, right? So every single person who was already listening to me, who was already warm and hot, I just took them to follow on this new account, and then I started from this new account. New energy, every single thing was new, amazing. But here's the thing. When I had the previous account, I had an income goal that I reached there. Like I reached that income goal, but no matter what I did, I wasn't able to scale from there. And that was the reason why there had to be changes. I had to change something, right? And that is why I changed. Like there were so many things that I have changed, and which is what I'm going to talk about today. And you're going to learn every single thing that I did, and you can implement all of this inside your own business as well. Okay, so within 3 months of this new account, I reached the income goal again because I changed a lot of things, and we are going to talk about what I worked on. And then I doubled it, and I have it consistent after that, which is a great thing. So let's talk about what are the things that I worked on. So the first thing which had the biggest impact, and I did all of these things that I'm going to talk about didn't increase my work, right? All of these changes have just increased my income, but it hasn't increased my work, which is very important to understand, because we don't want to, like, this is going to change your whole business. Okay, so the first thing that I shifted was I created a strategic product suite. This is very important. This is the biggest thing that made the biggest impact in my business. So on my previous account, I only had a one-on-one offer, a one-on-one intensive, and a course, right? But my course, which was Blazing Hot Instagram, it was very popular, but that was the only thing that was popular. And my one-on-one and Right. My one-on-one was my private offer, private consultation, right? Private consultation offer that wasn't very popular, first off. And the second thing, my intensives were also very popular. But the point here is that no matter what I did, I didn't have so many offers that took people where I could play around with, right? I didn't have a way in which I could move people around, I could upsell and downsell, which wasn't happening, right? And also I was feeling like all of my products were very old, or I had to change a few things over there, right? So I changed a lot of things, right? So the first thing that I did was creating a product suite. So the biggest mistake that a lot of people make is that they just shove every single thing in just one big program. Now, the problem with this is that because you have every single thing that you know and you are putting all of this in just one program, what happens is that when people join your program, it feels very exciting in the beginning, and then they feel overwhelmed because there are 10 things that they need to work on, right? And that feels so overwhelming, and when they feel overwhelmed, you can bet that they are not going to get results, because they are not going to take action. When they don't take action, you don't get results. When you don't get results, you don't have social proof. When you don't have social proof, you cannot sell more because you don't have anything to sell on, right? You don't have any proof on whether or not it's working, even if the program is so good, right? This is the biggest thing that I see so many people, like biggest mistake that I see so many people making. And I made that mistake on my previous account with my one-on-one offer. So another thing, like this is the first thing that happens, like people get overwhelmed with so much information because there are so many things that they have to work on, and then they work on nothing because it feels, and then subconsciously they feel like this program didn't work, right? And that is not what you want from them. The second thing is that because you put so many things in just one offer, you feel like you need to charge higher, but one, you don't have the confidence to charge that much. Two, your audience has to pay a lot more to get inside that offer, which means that if the budget doesn't allow for them, like the pricing that you put weeds out a lot of people, right? If you're putting a high ticket pricing, it weeds out the people who cannot have that much budget, right? So what happens with that is that there aren't many people who can join this program, and that is not a problem. The problem is that if there are not many people who are going to join this program, you are very much dependent on this one offer to reach your income goal. So if you're launching this offer and it doesn't go really well, then you are only dependent on that, and you feel very bad about yourself that you weren't able to reach that. So there's so much stress on just one launch, there's so much stress on just one offer, and it doesn't work out, right? So this is one thing, and people have to pay a lot because you're charging a higher price, right? And even after paying that, they subconsciously feel at the end of it that it didn't work out because it was overwhelming, right? So instead of doing something like this, what I suggest is creating a staircase kind of product suite. And what I mean by that is that, let's say there's a bigger transformation, there's a full transformation that you're providing them, but you're providing them in steps. So step 1, offer 1, step 2, offer 2, step 3, offer 3, and so on. All of these steps, which means all of these offers, are providing them mini transformations, but together, when people are in all of your programs, you are providing a huge chunk of a huge transformation, right? Every single offer is moving them towards the bigger transformation that you're providing, which is a huge thing. So what you do is you have multiple offers at different price points. Now what this does is that people have multiple choices to join your offers, and because there are different prices, you reach a huge audience. So you can reach, like, you're not only reaching the people who can pay a higher price, but you're also reaching the people who do not have the budget, but they really want to work with you, right? So when you do this, this is the biggest thing that happens, is that you're reaching a huge audience and you're converting a huge audience. I promise you that if you have like a 100, like I would say a 500 following, I promise you there are people who want to work with you, but either their budget doesn't allow, or like there will be some kind of, or they don't have time, there will be some kind of problem, which is why they aren't reaching out to you. But imagine if you had so many different multiple offers at different price points, there would be so many people who would be willing to reach out to you and who would be willing to work with you, because you have different choices at different price points and you have something for everyone. This is the biggest reason why I am able to convert so many people with just a 500 following, and I also have people like repeat customers, and we'll talk about that later on. But right now, the next thing that I want to talk about, the next advantage of having a staircase kind of offer suite is that people can join your offer at, like, okay, because you have step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, so on kind of offer suite. What happens is that there might be people who are like, okay, I already know step 1 and step 2, I want to learn step 3, right? So there's a possibility that they can join just one offer, they can join from step 3 and then move on from there. That is a possibility in a staircase product suite, but that is not a possibility when you have a huge offer. What happens when you have a huge offer, just one offer, and you've put down every single thing in that one offer, is that even if your audience knows like the first 3 steps, they have to join the whole program, they have to pay for the whole program to get even just, let's say they want to learn sales funnel, they also have to learn Instagram, and they also have to learn Facebook and all of the things that you are teaching in that program. They have to learn every single thing because you created a huge program and you didn't create multiple offers like people don't have choice. People just have to pay you fully, and even after that they are not satisfied after joining that because there's so many things and they get overwhelmed. This is the biggest thing, right? So people can choose with a staircase offer, people can choose where they want to join, where they want to start from, and then they can move on further from that. The next thing that is possible with a staircase offer suite is upselling and downselling, compared to being dependent on just one offer to help you reach your income goal. Because let's say there's someone inside your DMs inquiring about your offer. Let's say someone is inquiring about your private coaching offer, right? After hearing the pricing, they are like, my budget doesn't allow for this, right? What you can do with this is that you can ask 2 questions to them. You can ask, 1, what is your problem? Like, not exactly what is your problem, that sounds rude, but you can say what you're struggling with right now that is making you want to join this program. And when they tell you that, you ask them, what is your current budget, right? When you've got answers to both of these questions, you can, because you have an offer suite, you can actually mix and match a few things, and you can tell them that if you just get this thing along with this thing, this is within your budget, and it will also help you solve this problem. So you just get their problem, get their budget, and you have a way for them to get it within their budget and help them around. Such a good thing. You're not leaving money on the table. You're not like, okay, this was the only offer that I had, and if it doesn't allow for you, just goodbye, bye forever. That doesn't happen. So let me tell you, right now, as of now, I literally have every single person who has ever asked me that, let's say, so anyone who has asked me ever that, okay, I'm interested in this offer, but let's say if it didn't work out at that point. I have never had someone who has asked me before, it didn't work out, and then they never joined my program. That has never happened. The reason for that is that, first thing that I want to tell you, if there is someone who is asking you, inquiring you about one of your offers, that means that that person literally wants to work with you. Some way or the other way, that person really wants to work with you. And the second thing is that there might be different reasons why they might not be joining, but the biggest two objections that you'll get always is time and money objection. Okay, and if that doesn't work for them at that point, I promise you that they are still looking out for some kind of opportunity where they can still get into at least one of your offers, get to learn something from you, and get that from you. So they are still watching your stories, they are still binging your content, they are still looking out for an opportunity. So because I have a staircase offer suite, a strategic offer suite, what happens is that if one offer doesn't work out for a person, I have always seen that they reach out for the next program that I offer, which might work out for them. And then they join my next offer. So this is how I'm not leaving money on the table. I'm not upselling someone. Like, I'm not doing this like, sorry. I'm not upselling people or downselling people into, yes, I do that inside the DMs if I have the offer, but if I don't have an offer at that point and it didn't work out, I let them go. But I know that they will come back because I trust that they are still looking out for an opportunity to work with me, and that is true for you as well. And I also trust, I know that this happens, and this always happens, that people come back and they join my offers, any type of offer, but they invest with me all of the time. This is how I'm not leaving money on the table. Okay, so I have had, let me tell you, I have had people, we've talked about downselling, right? So let's say someone reached out to you and the budget didn't allow, then you can downsell them into one of your other offers, right? You can say that if this does not fall into your budget, you can actually get inside this offer, which helps you with this thing, right? This is one thing. Another thing is upselling. And let me tell you, upselling means there's someone who is already in your program. So you have a client or you have a student, and then they buy another one of your programs. Now, upselling, I don't try to upsell my clients into my other programs. It just happens accidentally, and it happens naturally because I have a very strategic product suite. So what happens is that the point is that I have people inside my SSC, Secret Story Launch Club. I have people inside that. And then people have joined from SSC to Story Sales. People have joined SSC and then they have joined every single one of my other programs. People have joined my TCA program and then they have joined my SSC and then they have joined Story Sales. I've also had people who have joined my TCA program and then they joined every single one of my programs. This happens a lot. This is how I have repeat customers, but I don't actually pitch my audience. I don't pitch my clients. I don't actually pitch my clients that, okay, I have this another offer. Do you want to buy it? I don't do that. But it happens naturally. It happens accidentally, but it does happen a lot in my world. I'm very thankful to it. I'm very thankful to my clients. But it happens because I have a strategic product suite. What happens is that, let's say there are people inside my TCA, there are people inside my SSC, whichever program, right? And then I'm selling something on stories. They would be watching my stories, they would watch it, and then they would reach out. They would say, okay, I think I need this, just send me the link. This happens a lot, and there are two reasons for it. One is I have a strategic product suite, and the second reason is I literally know how to sell on stories. There's another reason, and that is they know the quality of my offer. They know the quality of my products, my offers. They also trust me very, very much because they know that if this is what I got from this offer, the next offer is going to be amazing as well, which is why that trust is already there, which is why people jump from one offer to another in my world. So people know that it's going to be good, it's going to be so good, and that is why people jump from offer to offer, and it happens a lot. And the reasons is quality of my offers, trust, strategic product suite, and that I know how to sell on stories. When I sell on stories, my clients watch it and then they are like, I want this program, just send me the link. Amazing, right? It works all the time. That it's not when I'm selling on stories, it's not the intention to upsell my clients, but it happens, and it's amazing. It's an amazing thing. This is how I'm not leaving money on the table. It's really, really good. Okay, so the next thing that I shifted, first thing was strategic product suite. Create a strategic product suite so that you are not leaving money on the table. You have multiple offers and people can choose that, okay, this is the topic that I want to learn and I don't want to learn any other topic. I'm not interested in any other topic. So they can weed out the topics that they are not interested in. They can choose the topic they want to learn, and they just have to pay a smaller fees instead of a huge chunk of fees from which they already know a few things. They're learning some of the few things and they still feel overwhelmed, and they feel like they are not satisfied with the program. We don't want that, right? Which is why strategic product suite all the time. Okay, the next thing that I shifted was providing payment plans and deposit plans. As I told you before, there are two problems, like two objections you would hear all the time, and that is time and money. You'd hear, okay, I really want to join this program. I heard that you are going to increase the price, but I want to lock in this price. I want to get it at this price, but right now the time isn't right. I feel like I have my schedule completely packed. How can I get inside, right? So you can just give them a deposit plan. What is deposit plan? Deposit plan means they just have to pay a one-time fees, which is a non-refundable deposit, and if they join the program later on, this deposit is removed, this deposit is subtracted from the final amount, and they just have to pay the remaining amount to start the program, right? And if they don't join the program later on, because this is a non-refundable deposit, they don't get the program, they don't get access to the program. Deposit plan does not let you give access to the program. Okay, once they provide the actual amount of the program, because this is a very small fees, this only locks in the final, like it only locks in this price for them. That is what it does. It does not let them have access to the program. It only happens when they provide the remaining amount, right? So deposit plan is this, and if they don't join the program later on, because this is non-refundable deposit, they don't get access to the program and they don't get the money back as well. So this is one deposit plan. Really works really well. This is one of the reasons why I have TCA full all of the time. Like most of the time I have the Clients Accelerator program, which is a one-on-one program. It's always full because I have so many people who go with the deposit plan and they are like, okay, I don't have time right now, or whatever reason they might have. They are like, okay, I want to lock in my spot at this point, or I want to lock in my September spot, right? So they just put in a deposit and then they start whenever they want to start, or whenever they said that they are going to start, which is really good, right? So that is deposit plan. The second thing is a payment plan. You might have already joined so many programs, so you might already know how a payment plan works. But payment plan works when you have a high ticket offer. You are trying to sell a high ticket offer, but you don't have confidence, let's say, right? And what happens with that is that because you don't have confidence to charge that much, you wouldn't be able to put that price out there with confidence, which is a problem, right? So with payment plan, what you can do is, let's say you have $1,000 offer and you feel like, I don't think I can charge this, or who am I to charge this, and all of that. It's a mindset problem and it needs to be worked on. But right now, what you can do is that you can just use a payment plan to it's kind of like a workaround to just get rid of that mindset block, right? So what you can do is, instead of saying it's $1,000 price, which to you feels a lot, you might just say it's a $250 per month. And that feels so small to you, that feels so small to your audience, and it just works really well. So payment plan, I'm not giving this tip like, okay, provide payment plans, right? I'm giving this tip in terms of mindset block. So if you feel like I'm selling a high ticket offer but I don't feel confident with it, you can actually, this is kind of like a workaround in the way in which you can talk about the pricing of your offer. So it's only $250 per month. Sounds so good, right? So that is what you can do. The third thing that I shifted was showing up when it feels like no one is watching. The point over here is that when I started my account, obviously it was like I was starting from zero, right? And the point is that I knew this from the beginning, that I will have times when I feel like no one is watching, or that no one is responding, or that people didn't like that content and all of that. And those kind of things happen, right? But the thing is, you show up first, people come later. Like, people will always come, but you have to show up first. Like, you have to put your hand over there first, and then people will join, and people will be like, I want your help. It doesn't work the other way around. It is not like people already have their hands up and they're like, I need your help, and then you extend your hand and you're like, okay, let's get in, right? That doesn't happen. You show up first, and that is when people join. People join later, right? So there are, like, I want to tell you, even when it's time when you feel like there are not many people who are watching, there are people who are obsessed with you. There are people who are literally watching your stories but not showing up, not showing their faces. They are going through your content every single day, and they are, in fact, when you haven't posted in a while, people just check your profile and they're like, okay, what is she up to? And like, people are taking screenshots from your stories, and people are doing a lot of things behind the scenes. Like, that is happening. People are obsessed with your content, right? But it might feel to you like it's not happening. Like, there are not many people who are watching my content. There are not many people who are appreciating my content, and I'm doing this for nothing. But I promise you that it only feels like that. It is not the actual thing, because behind the scenes, like, literally, I must tell you my recent story. One of my followers, I didn't even know that she follows me, and she just yesterday shared a post of all of the people who are in her favorites, and I was the third or fourth person in that list, along with really big names like Jasmine Star. I literally love her content, and this is a huge deal. Like, I literally know, like, I'm very obsessed with my content. I am very confident with my content. I'm very, very confident with my sales on my stories, every single thing. I know what I'm doing. I know my shit, okay? But it never crossed my mind that people would be making me favorite. Like, I would be favorite among one of those people, right? And this is amazing. Like, you don't even know that how much impact you're making. Like, just even showing up, even if you're just putting your face out there and you're writing something up and you're posting it on stories, even that is amazing to a lot of your people. People are obsessed with your content. There are people who are obsessed with your content, even if it feels like there aren't, because I didn't even know that this person is following me. I haven't ever seen her watching my stories, but I am in her favorites, right? So there are people who aren't showing their faces, but they are obsessed with your content, right? Take this example with you, and just put that in your mind, that, like, remind yourself this every single time you feel like no one is watching, or remind yourself that there are so many people who feel like who are obsessed with your content, who are watching your content, who are favoriting you, and it's amazing, right? So that is one of the things. Another thing is that I show up to show up. I've had people who have joined this Facebook group for this masterclass, and I was going to show up even if no one joined this Facebook group for this masterclass, because I have been very away from this Facebook group. I haven't shown up in a long time, more than a year. It's a very old Facebook group. I was going to show up because I am lit up about this topic. I want to do this masterclass. I want to share this stuff because I know and I believe and I trust that people are going to watch the replay. And I know, I trust that, and I'm just going to do it because I do it to do it. I don't do it because there are hundreds of people who are watching this content. And when you show up with that energy, I promise you there will be people who are watching your content, who will show up, who will join, right? When you show up with that energy, you'll see that people start coming in, people start showing up, right? So even if one person reads my content, like even if just one person reads my content and she feels like I really needed to hear that, that is really amazing, my job is done. I'm very, very satisfied with that. And what I do is I share to share. I create content to create content. I don't create content because I want someone's approval that this was really good, because I want 50 likes. If I didn't get 50 likes, then that content is not good. I don't feel that because I am literally so obsessed with my content that it doesn't matter whether or not it gets the amount of likes, the amount of comments, etc., to give it approval, because I am so obsessed. It doesn't need anyone's approval, right? And I'm not saying this to tell you that don't improve your content, or don't improve on it, or don't share. Like, I'm not doing that to tell you that even if your likes are low, or like even if your content is not good, just keep sharing, etc. I'm saying improve it, but don't let yourself get down and not showing up. So let's say if, because you don't have many people watching your stories or many people liking your content, you just stop showing up, then it's not going to get any far, right? Because right now you might not have that number of followers, but you have to show up right now in order to get the number of followers that you want, right? So showing up, you show up to show up. You improve along the way, but the low number of likes or the vanity metrics does not approve your content that it wasn't good. So let me give you one example. I share content where it's really next level, it's really next level in my mind, but sometimes what happens is that I don't have words to share it in a way that it's the same thing that I want to say. What I mean by that is that it is really next level in my mind, and it has a very deep meaning, but when I put it into words, I create a quote or something like that, the sentence is mellowed down than the deep level content that I'm trying to say, that I'm trying to convey. That doesn't happen. And even with that, I share my content, and even if just one person reads that content and she's like, this is amazing, I love it, I really needed to hear that, this really helped me step up my game or whatever, my job is done. So one of the posts that I shared recently was, you have to own your results. This is the biggest thing holding you back from not getting clients. Like, you're not getting clients because you haven't owned your results. The point over there, and I can only say that you have to own your results, and that is a mellowed down version of what next level thing is in my mind, because I can only share that. But the actual thing that I want to convey with that is that this is the biggest reason why you're not getting clients. Because if you feel like there aren't many, if you feel okay, I lost my train of thoughts. This happens a lot with me. Okay, when you haven't owned your results, like, there are different wins, different results for different niches, right? So for me, because my industry wins would be my income goal, right? And getting sales, because I'm in the sales and marketing industry, right? But for you, so for example, you are in the health industry or fitness industry, your your industry wins would be losing 10 pounds or gaining muscles, etc., right? So for the fitness industry, those are the wins that matter, right? But if you feel like this, I don't know how I did this, like I lost 10 pounds but I don't know how I did this, if you are in that mindset that I don't know how I did this, or it was a fluke, or it was just by luck and I don't know how I did that, if I don't know how I did that, how am I able to show my clients how to do that? This works in a self-sabotaging way. And what happens with that is that you literally aren't able to show up with full confidence to sell your offer. And which is why actually people can see your energy, people can see how much more confident you are, and that is why people can see that you are not as confident as you need to be in order to get that, and which is why people don't join your offers. This is the biggest reason why, if you are not confident that you can achieve this result, if you're not owning your own results, you're not owning your results, which is why you're not confident that you can do this again, which is why you're not confident that you can help your clients achieve that. And if you have an offer exactly about that, you're not going to able to give them that result. And second thing, you're not going to be able to sell that offer as much as you want to, because you're not owning that result. When you feel like, I don't know how I did that, or I don't know how I can do that again, you wouldn't be able to map out how you did that, because you are not sure how you did that. If you own that I did that, right? Tell yourself, if you've reached a goal, if you've reached an industry milestone, tell yourself that I did that, I know how to do that. Let me map out all of the repeatable steps that I did during that time. Write down all of the steps, right? And then this is the thing, this is the framework that you can teach to your clients. When you own that I did that, that is when it starts. That is when your confidence starts. That is where you can start selling more about your offer. That is where you can start getting more clients, right? That is what you want to, this is next level thing, right? And when I just say that start owning your results, it is not as much high level or next level that I want to convey in my offer, like in my content, right? So the thing is, I share to share. I don't share because there are 100 people watching. Sometimes I have a really high story views, sometimes I have low story views, but it doesn't bother me to not share my stories. It doesn't stop me, like the number of vanity metrics, right? The number of vanity metrics can just tell you that you need to improve this, okay? But it shouldn't tell you that you need to stop this. That is the biggest thing you need to hear. And another thing that I want to tell you is that be so obsessed with your own content that you don't need anyone's approval. You don't need the number of likes, the number of comments to approve that content, that this was really good content, okay? Because let me tell you one thing, you are going to get a lot of comments, likes, saves, etc. for just how to content. When you're creating a next level content, let's say, and I'll give you example. So for example, you're creating an awareness type of content, or you're creating an aha moment type of content. That type of content, I call these authoritative content. When you create this type of content, this literally moves your customer down the customer journey. This moves your ideal clients down the customer journey. What happens is that this is just what can I say? This is like selling without selling. This is the type of content where you would get sorry, this is the type of content where you would actually make your audience ready to buy from you. But this type of content wouldn't get a lot of likes, wouldn't get a lot of engagement, etc. But that does not mean that this content didn't do something behind the scenes when they are watching your content, right? And that is another thing, and I wouldn't call it vanity metric, but it is one of the metrics that that would matter to me more than just the likes, comments, etc. Right? So I'm just sidetracking. This is not something that I wanted to talk about, but like literally the number of engagement that you get does not approve your content. There are different types. There's only one type of content that people really love on social media, but there are other type of content that convert people. There are other type of content that makes people want to join your program, which is the metric I really care about, right? So even if sometimes the engagement is down, that's good and that might be actually working behind the scenes. And when people feel like, okay, I think I'm ready to join her program, they remain silent rather than go on and like your content or comment on your content, because they feel like, I don't want to show my face right now, I'm just going to ask for the link, right? That happens a lot. So don't worry so much about that, and always remember that be so obsessed with your own content that you don't need anyone's approval, any vanity metrics approval. And also always remember that the number of likes, comments does not always share the right thing that is happening behind the scenes, right? So the three things, let me just recap. And the first thing is having a strategic product suite. The second thing is having payment plans and deposit plans. The third thing that I shifted was you show up first, people join later, right? You show up even when it feels like no one is watching. The fourth thing that I want to talk about is I have been reading this book. The fourth thing that I shifted was I have been reading this book, which actually made me realize that I have been doing this ever since I started this new account, right? And that is, the book is I Hope I Screw This Up. While I was reading this book, I realized that this is how I started my account. So what I did while I was really new to this new account was that I wanted to learn and I wanted to experiment. Okay, I was very detached from the outcome. Like, I wasn't more about, let me see how many sales can I make, or let me see how much engagement can I get. I was more like, I was detached from the outcome, and let's just see what is working. Let's just learn from the mistakes. So even if someone was coming into my DMs and asking me about one of my programs, what I would do is I would just send anything that came to my mind at that point without worrying about what words I'm saying, what will make her join, all of those kind of things. And I would just say to myself, let's see if this works. I remember myself saying this to myself, that let's just see if this works, and if it doesn't work, we'll change something in the next with the next DM that I get from one of my ideal clients, right? So that is what I did. Like, I literally remember this with so many DMs that I sent to people, and I was like, let's see if this works. We are just experimenting, right? And that helped me learn so many things. So I was more like, I hope I screw this up so that I can learn something new, right? And this is one of the philosophies that I have been going through. One of my philosophies that I just realized, but I have been doing this a lot with this account, especially when I was new to this account, and that is, you learn more from falling and failing than as much as you learn from your successes. And let me tell you one of the things. One of the biggest fears that I see a lot of coaches go through is that how can I teach my clients if I am myself struggling? And let me tell you that at every single level, you'll get new struggles, right? New level, new devil. You might have heard of that, right? Every single level, next level will give you more struggles, right? And that does not mean that you are not a good coach. Many people think that. Many coaches think that I'm not a good coach because I shouldn't struggle with that because I am an expert at that. And let me tell you, it's a good thing that you're struggling with that, because if you only had successes, what if one of your clients struggles with that, and because you have never gone through that, you wouldn't be able to show them that this is what you need to do in order to get the results, in order to shift this around, in order to move from failure to success, right? So actually, if you're struggling, if you're already a coach and you're struggling at some point for anything, for the next level that you are in, right, that is a good thing, because you'll get to learn something new that you can teach your clients when they are struggling with that thing. It is a very good thing. So actually, I see failures as very, very good learning points. I think like people say this a lot, that failures are good and all of that, but no one puts it this way. And this is a really, really good thing. So I hope I screwed this up was my attitude when I started this account, and I learned a lot. I literally learned a lot by having this attitude, because I experimented a lot. I was posting just for posting. Like, I didn't care how much engagement I was getting. I was just posting and learning, and then tweaking my headline the next time, and then changing my reels the next time. And I learned so much. And I wasn't even scared to post 3 to 4 times in a day. I have done that when I started my new account, and that was such a good learning point. And I must tell you that if you are in the beginning stages of your business, like beginning stages of your account, you can actually do that. You can actually even do that right now if you want to. If you want to grow your account, you can post as much as you can. If you want to, like, literally don't care about the engagement. When you want to nurture your audience, this is not the topic of this masterclass, but when you want to nurture your audience, you can just sorry, I got lost. When you want to nurture your audience, you want to think about how much engagement people like you are getting on your posts, right? But when you are thinking of growing your account, you want to think about how many posts you can make in order to reach more people, because more posts, more opportunities to reach more people, right? And like, if you are posting once in a day, you have 7 opportunities in a week to reach more people. But if you are posting more, you have, like, if you're posting 2 times a day, you have 14 opportunities to reach more people, right? So at that point, you don't want to like, if you're trying to grow your account, you don't want to focus so much on the engagement. You want to focus on the number of the posts that you're creating. It's not necessary, but if you want to grow really fast, you can do that. I'm not saying that post 3 times a day to grow. You can definitely create your own strategy and do it slowly, however you want to do. But I'm just giving this one thing, that if you are trying to nurture, you want to focus on the engagement. If you're trying to grow, engagement does not matter. You want to think of how much reach you are getting, right? So that is one thing. 4th shift was, I hope I screwed this up. And the 5th shift that I made was, I have been selling multiple things at once. So before, when I had my previous account, I was only selling one thing at a time. And what happened with that is that, let's say if I'm selling a high ticket offer at this point, every single person who might be ready to join one of the offers, or who might be ready to invest in something with me, they wouldn't get another opportunity to work with me if that one high ticket offer does not work for them, right? So what I am doing now is that I'm selling multiple things at once. So at a time, I'm selling multiple things which are at different price points, so that I'm giving more opportunities for people to join depending on their time, depending on their budget, etc., right? And this allows me to reach more people and convert more people at the same time, right? So this has been amazing. We are 10 minutes, like we are 50 minutes in to this masterclass. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so let's just recap. 5 things I shifted that increased my income exponentially without increasing my work. First is I created a strategic product suite, which is a staircase product suite, right? Second thing is I started talking about the payment plans and deposit plans, not leaving money on the table. And the third thing is you show up first, people will join later. So showing up even when it feels like no one is watching, because literally there are people who are lurking. And let me tell you, lurkers, I'm not saying that lurkers are not good, but what I'm saying is that the people who are engaging with you and people who are always in your DMs and the people who are always liking your content are not going to be the ones who are joining your programs. But the people who are not doing all of these things, you'll see that most of your clients are those who never engaged with you, who never, like you, most of the people, most of my clients, I don't even know where they came from, right? And they might be watching every single thing, every single move that I'm doing, but I didn't know about them. So the people who are not engaging, not doing all of those things, that does not mean that you don't have a warm audience. You have people who are lurking and they will join your offers. Okay, so third thing is showing up even when it feels like no one is watching. Fourth is I hope I screwed this up attitude while sharing something, right? And fifth is selling multiple things on my stories at once. So these are the things. And by the way, for anyone who is thinking that I want to work with you or whatever, right? I have a few options for you. The first one is my program, the Clients Accelerator, is available right now. There are only 3 options to work with me right now. One is the Clients Accelerator, which is a one-on-one 12-week program with me, and you can join that if you want to increase your clientele and you want to make sure that you are getting clients consistently every single month. The second one is private coaching, which is where you get access to every single one of my programs, and it's a 3-month private coaching where you get unlimited one-on-one calls with me, so you can use them as you go, as you need, and you get access to every single program that I have right now. Along with, you also get access to every single thing that I launch except one-on-one offers during the 3 months that you work with me for the private coaching, right? So that is the second offer. The third offer, if you want to work with me, is a September program, a program that is coming in September, and we would be I have been talking about this is more about how to create feed content, but this is about a type of feed content that I haven't talked about ever, and you can create a content strategy, but this is a different type of way in which I have been doing lately, which will increase your story views, which will increase your engagement, which will increase your likes, comments, etc. But it will eventually increase your sales, right? So this is the type of coaching, like this is the type of content that I'm going to teach inside this September program, and I'm not revealing a lot of the details because it's in pre-sales, pre-launch, whatever you can call it, pre-sale right now, but just for the next 48 hours. So you can just DM me on my Instagram at @WithSmacksSocial to get in. That is all. You just send me the name of the program and I'll send you all of the details if you want to join any of my programs. Okay, and also there are limited spots for the Clients Accelerator and the private coaching, because private coaching actually includes the Clients Accelerator. So because there are limited spots for TCA, there are also limited spots for private coaching. So if you want to join before the spots go away. Okay, so that is it that I wanted to talk about. I hope you have enjoyed this. I literally am so excited for this because I have shown you complete behind the scenes of how I scaled my income so fast with such a small following, and how I have such a high repeat customer because I have a product suite, high product, like I have a strategic product suite, and people just join my offers from one offer to another offer because they trust me, because they know the quality of my offers, and it's amazing. And because I know how to sell on stories. Okay, so these are the offers that you can join right now, and I would be so happy to see you inside my DMs if you want to. And if you have watched this and you loved this, you can still come into my DMs and tell me that how was your experience with this live masterclass and how you found it, right? So I'll see you next time. Bye bye.